This is the darling of the Forgotten State, unofficial OTS member, Noah Vale, and you're tuned in to the OTS Project.
So I'm in the club, right? I'm hitting the, you know what I'm saying? I'm up in there, I'm hitting that. And all of a sudden, the lights go completely out, completely pitch black. It's a blackout, right? We're all scrambling. I'm trying to find my friends. I'm trying to find the girl I was with and whatnot. Can't find her. Get outside. I'm in like an alleyway. I find the girl I was with. Girl wants to get in a fight with me, bro.
Damn.
Yeah. Crazy. There's fireworks going off because like that's how we do things. Like if the power's out, we shoot off fireworks. So that's like the street lights.
Type shit.
So like that was cool. There was fireworks going off, but like my girl wants to fight with me, but she was also like singing while she was fighting with me. It was really weird. And so I was like, listen, come on, like don't throw away what we got going on here. And she was just like she could find her own way home. And yeah, that was it. So yeah, eventful past weekend.
Shit, man. I figured, man, stuff like that kind of happens out on the west side, but I mean, you know.
Yeah.
I didn't think you would get to experience it firsthand like that. That's crazy.
It happens, bro. It happens.
Yeah.
But yeah, all right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to OTS News. Theo, what's going on with you?
What is going on with me? I don't know. I'm still on my Wednesday kick, pretty much. That really has not died down at all. But I've also been getting back into Tron a little bit because the new movie's coming out next month, so I'm getting a little bit more excited for that.
Right.
Want to rewatch the movies at some point before I go and see that.
Yeah.
But honestly, not much has been happening. It's been a very slow week, I feel like.
Yeah, it's been a very just nothing week for me as well. I haven't done much. I will say I was playing Fallout 4, but I think I may have overloaded with too many mods or whatever, because at various points when I try and play it, my game will just like crash and shit like that. So that's been a bit of an issue, is trying to play the game with mods and it not being able to handle it. But yeah, other than that, I've just been hanging out. Not a lot going on. Yeah, very very nothing week. So we ain't got much to talk about there, but we do have a lot of news and whatnot. But before we get into that, we have our song of the week. Theo, what is your song of the week?
My song of the week is going to be "Message in a Bottle" by The Police. This guitar, I've recently rediscovered this song because guitar covers have been coming up of this song on my TikTok, and I've just been jamming out with it the entire time. I think it is such a very underrated and cool guitar riff that it has just throughout the song. It's super sick. The Police is one of my more favorite, I guess, like the 70s, 80s rock bands. I don't know. I think it's probably more closer to 80s, I'd say, but they're pretty cool. The song's pretty good. I like it.
That's cool. Mine, technically, it should be an Ed Sheeran song because he just released an album today, but I was only able to listen to the album once, last night, so I don't have a lot of like experience with it yet. So probably next week I'll have probably an Ed Sheeran song off of the new album. But I have, out of the nothingness of this week, I have gotten a new hyperfixation. It is the girl group Cat's Eye. I don't know what it is, but every once in a while I just become like a sucker for a good girl like music group. So like Blackpink was like the first one that I discovered, which obviously like a K-pop group that I kind of fell in love with, and Cat's Eye is a similar thing. It's a group that was made by the same people that made BTS, but technically I don't believe that they're a K-pop group because it's like they had an idea to bring around like girls from all around the world and whatnot, and they made like this whole show about it like 2 years ago or something like that. So there's like an Indian girl, a Korean girl, you know what I'm saying, from all a Latina girl, like all different stuff.
Right.
So my song of the week is gonna be Gabriella by Cat's Eye. I've been obsessed with this group. These girls are incredible, bro. Their singing is great. Their dancing is great. They're all insanely beautiful. Like, it is pretty insane. And so, yeah, I've been listening to the music, but my TikTok especially has just been Cat's Eye videos, either them performing or like videos of them from YouTube and stuff like that, of different vlogs and stuff. So I've gotten to like know these girls and their personalities and stuff. So yeah, that has been my hyperfixation. And I think they're pretty good. I'm excited to. They're still fairly new. They only have like 5 to 7 songs or something like that. But I'm excited to see like their career obviously progress and them get bigger and bigger and bigger. So yeah, Gabriella by Cat's Eye is gonna be my song of the week.
There you go.
And we have our blind ranking for the week. Theo, you forgot about it, so you came up with.
I forgot about it. This is a
with
fairly
one.
new segment. You gotta You gotta give me a little bit to really
This
get
is
in
true.
there.
Theo, for those that don't know, Theo just does not really look at the notes before he sits down in that
No,
chair.
I really don't.
So
To be fair, we had this discussion last night because of one of our upcoming episodes that we both completely forgot about.
yes. But yeah, for the most part, because I'm the one that comes up with the ideas and stuff. So like my blind ranking, I probably have had in the Google Keep for like a week since we did the last one, and yours, you're just like, oh shit, yeah, I gotta do that, I guess. So it is funny seeing the two different sides. Do you want me to go first since I have mine kind of already
Yeah, you can go first.
laid out? All right, Theo, I am gonna give you 5 professional wrestlers that you have to rank.
Okay.
I picked this is an interesting 5. I did not pick John Cena, Edge, Randy Orton, Chris Jericho. I did not. I picked some big names, but also some small names. This is more really of like rated talent. They're all kind of underrated talent except maybe one. So starting off, I'm gonna give you Mr. Claudio Castagnoli, Mr. Cesaro.
Ooh, dang, he's a strong pick. I don't have a lot of like personal connection with Claudio, but like I still know that man is an absolute workhorse. That man does not
He's a
miss
beast
in the ring whatsoever.
Right.
I think just for that, I'm gonna have to put him at a solid 3. I think that's probably where I'm gonna put him.
All right. Your second one is probably the biggest name on this list, Mr. Bryan Danielson.
Ooh. Yeah. Okay. We getting in there now. So this is the biggest.
If this
name
was
on the list.
my list, he would be number 1 on this list.
Okay. I feel like there could be some other names thrown in this list that I might want to prioritize, but I cannot deny Bryan Danielson's true just talent and overall quality in the ring. I'm putting him at 2.
All right. Your next pick is going to be woo, Mr. Matt Cardona, Mr. Zack Ryder.
Okay. Here we go. Man, in ring, I definitely can't compare him to the last 2 names. I feel like he's definitely the lesser of all 3.
That's what that was the name that I said is not necessarily like the kind of Iron Man workhorse, but he, not to say he's bad or anything like that, but like
no, I
the other
very
names
much
on this list
enjoy
are
him,
more in ring.
Right.
Yeah.
Ooh. I hate to do it, but I feel like I got to put him in 5. I feel like there could be some better names on this list for sure. So I'm gonna put him in 5.
That was a good choice.
I felt like that was a good choice.
Your number 4 pick here is going to be Mr. Carmelo Hayes.
Ooh. Damn. Stay 4.
All right. And your last pick. What number do you have left?
My number 1.
Your number 1? All right, I feel like you're going to be pretty happy about your number 1 because your last one is going to be Dolph Ziggler.
Okay, yeah, I'm pretty happy about that. I like Dolph Ziggler a lot, both in the ring and just on the mic every time.
Nick Nemeth.
Dolph Ziggler, very, very underrated talent, very, very good. I've always really enjoyed his stuff. I'm very happy with my list. I think I honestly cooked with this list.
Read off your list for me real quick.
1 is going to be Dolph Ziggler. 2 is going to be Bryan Danielson. 3 is going to be Claudio. 4 is going to be Carmelo. 5 is going to be Zack Ryder.
Yep, that's a pretty good list. I'd say mine would probably be similar, except I'd probably switch Ziggler and Bryan.
Okay. Yeah, that's fair. I might.
Good job though.
Yeah, I might switch Zack and Carmelo if I had the chance, just because I feel like I have a lot more of a connection with Zack than Melo. But honestly, even still, I'm very happy with how my list turned out.
All 5 of these guys, fantastic professional wrestlers.
Absolutely.
For sure.
So mine is going to be fairly well opposite of what your list was. You are going to be blind ranking.
Blah, blah, blah.
Blah, blah, blah. Magic Kingdom rides.
Ooh,
or attractions.
All right.
However you want to go with it, because there's not that many rides, but there's a shit ton of attractions.
Right. I can get into this.
So the first one I'm going to give you is going to be Tiana's Bayou Adventure, formerly known as Splash Mountain.
Ooh. Well, technically, I have not been on Tiana's Bayou Adventure. I've only been on Splash Mountain, but it is technically the same ride. I am going to put that, you know what, I will put that at the solid 4 spot. I do like the ride, but it was never. It's not. It's one of the. It's weird because it's one of those that you feel like, oh yeah, you got to do that every time you're there. But to me, it was never like a super special ride. I do have a little bit of a family connection. Grace, not big on rides. That was one of the first rides I really got her on. And we have multiple photos of like me, her, and like foreign exchange students that we brought to Disney, or me, her, Logan, and my aunt, which is a legendary photo like in our circle that we all laugh about. But I'll put it at the number 4 spot.
All right. The next one is going to be Buzz Lightyear's Space Ranger Spin.
Ooh. All right. This one has a lot more of a connection to me. This is something that I've ridden ever since I was a little kid. This was like my dad's favorite ride. Might sound crazy, but I think I may put it at the number 2 spot.
Ooh, okay. This, to me, if I could relate this ride to you to anything, it would probably be Wii Sports Resort. This is the Wii Sports Resort of Disney rides for you. You just go crazy on this ride, man, I tell you.
I love it, man. It's a good time.
All right. Number 3 is going to be the all-time classic Haunted Mansion.
Ooh. See, now I really love Haunted Mansion. This is one of my favorite rides. But for sake of blind ranking, I feel like there may be something left here. So I may put it at the number. I didn't use 3, right?
You did not use 3. You've used 4.
All right, I think I'll put it. Yeah, I think I'll put it at the number 3 spot. Although it is one of my favorite rides, and honestly, I probably would. I don't know. Sentimental wise, Buzz Lightyear is above it, but like personal wise, I think Haunted Mansion would be above Buzz Lightyear. But I will put it at the 3.
Okay. Number 4 is going to be Big Thunder Mountain Railroad.
Ooh. All right.
You've got 1 and 5 left.
This is true. This is a predicament day because I'm a little. I don't want to put it at 1 because it's not my favorite, but I do love it, but it's not my favorite. So I don't want to put it at 1 because, of that. But also I don't want to put it at 5 because I feel like your little bitch ass is going to be like, and number 5 is going to be It's a Small World. And I'm like, motherfucker. So I will put it at 5.
You probably should have trusted your instincts there because the last one I gave you was going to be Hall of Presidents.
Yeah, the absolute worst. All right, so yeah, number 1. But yeah, that would be. I wouldn't even put that at 5. I wouldn't even put that on the list at all. that is so bad.
List.
I don't know. I would, if I had the opportunity, I would never participate in that show. I think. What was it when we went? It was you, me, Grace, Maddie, Logan, and Leah.
Yes.
And Grace was like adamant that Leah had to experience Hall of Presidents. And I was just like, dude, I'm like, we are wasting so much time. Just because we also like, when we got there, it was like right when a show had started. Right. So we had to wait like 20 minutes in the hallway to then go in and watch another 20-minute show that's so boring. Like, we waited in the Hall of Presidents area in general for like 40 minutes between watching the show and waiting and shit, and that was like,
we didn't even watch
what
the show.
Waste. Oh, we didn't?
We didn't.
All right, good.
We sat there 50 minutes and then we were just like, let's just go do something else, and then we literally
it's such a waste of time. So that was probably my call because I was just like, Grace, what are we doing, bro?
I remember that.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, horrible. Even Dave, friend of the pod, Mr. Dave McKittrick, he actually loves it, but he loves it because he says that's his like nap break in the day.
It's
like when he has like Frankie with him and stuff like that, he'll halfway through the day they'll go in there, so like Frankie is still doing something, but Dave can take like a quick 20-minute nap and kind of recharge himself. So yeah, good nap spot if you need a nap. Yeah. But other than that, it is not great. So what was it? My list was Hall of Presidents at number 1.
At 1. I think
2 was Buzz Lightyear.
Yeah, 2 was Buzz Lightyear. 3 was Haunted Mansion. 4 was Tiana's Bayou Adventure, and then 5 was shit.
Big Thunder Mountain.
Big Thunder Mountain, yes.
Yeah, I would probably switch. Honestly, if I had to redo this, Haunted Mansion would probably be at 1, Buzz Lightyear at 2, Big Thunder at 3, Tiana's at 4, and then probably Hall of Presidents is at 5. We're not even on the list really. So yeah,
I'd probably put Tiana's over Big Thunder. I'm not a big Thunder
really?
guy.
You don't like the backbreaker?
No, I don't like the backbreaker. No, I don't really care for it at all.
It definitely it'll fuck you up a little bit when you get off that ride.
Yeah.
All right. So our OTS showcase of the week. This is something that I have been racking my brain a little bit on what I wanted to do. So I want to kind of shed a little bit of light on something. So I'm not sure that you know this person. Still professional wrestler. His name is Robert Martyr. He is somebody that
Yes.
I've worked with from like really early on. So I met him when he was like 13 or something like that. When he was training, and then like a couple years later, he showed up to ACW when he was like 16, and he was ready to wrestle. He would show up with like Janai Kai and Yoya and whatnot. So like I started working with him a lot. But like there was this whole thing yesterday and the day before where he, kind of went missing, and his family and everybody kind of in the wrestling world was trying to find him and stuff like that. And I'm glad that he's home safe, and I believe he's going to like a mental kind of hospital or something like that. But yeah, I just want to shed a little bit of light on him because he is a great wrestler. So him and I kind of lost touch a little bit, but yeah, he's a really good wrestler. He wrestled Minoru Suzuki. He's been killing it. He got smart. He was in, he would come to ACW and stuff like that. So around like 2020, 2021, he got smart and he realized that the best thing he could do is like get the fuck out of Florida, because Florida wrestling is just like a disgusting cesspool of bullshit and drama. It's hard to get out. And I've seen a lot of wrestlers over the years get sucked into the vortex of Florida wrestling and kind of trying to be on top of Florida wrestling. And I feel like that is really like a bad idea, because I feel like when they do that, sure, you're booked everywhere in Florida, but you don't get out of Florida, because I feel like people outside of Florida kind of put like a stigma on you. So he got smart and he got out of Florida and started doing a lot of Midwest stuff and whatnot. So yeah, I just wanted to showcase him this week because obviously it was kind of intense what was going on and whatnot. But he is a great wrestler. Definitely suggest everybody check him out. Like I said, he wrestled Minoru Suzuki. It was a great match. I watched it. It was a few years ago. But he's just been like collecting like Infinity Gauntlet indie wrestling like matches since then, and just been doing really, really good stuff. So I highly suggest everybody check out Mr. Robert Martyr this week for our OTS showcase.
Yeah, I saw the news about him going like missing all over like X and stuff like that, and that was very scary stuff. I'm glad that he's found now and stuff like that.
Yeah,
that's very good to hear.
Yeah, for sure. But we got a lot of news that we kind of gotta jump on into. So first off, the biggest news, the one that hits closest to home, is some breaking news. We have decided to change the name of the podcast. So let me explain. This might take a second to explain here, but this podcast that you're technically watching, our weekly news podcast, that is going to be OTS News. That is staying the same. Everything is there because at the end of the day, we are still OTS. OTS is not going away. So that's me, you, Elias, and anybody else that kind of wants to be a part of OTS. So that is still a thing. This is still OTS News. But our main podcast that we do every week that we film in batches, we're actually filming tomorrow, that name is changing for kind of a broader appeal. It was called the OTS Project, which was a cool name. It's a play on OTS Project, but not going to lie. For the general audience that we're trying to reach out to, nobody knows what that is. So we decided to change the name to kind of just fit a wider audience. So the name, I'll give Theo a drum roll because this is technically a name you came up with, so I'll let you drop it.
It is going to be Cousins of the Cosmos.
Bam. Yes, sir. It's a play on Guardians of the Galaxy and whatnot. The logo is also a play on Guardians of the Galaxy. I just think that is something that we both are very connected with. That is something we love very much, and it relates to Marvel and stuff like that. And also, with it being cousins, has something personal to do with us. So all around, I think it's a great name. So yeah, it's gonna be a little bit technically before people do see it because we still have 2 episodes that are already uploaded that are gonna premiere. So you got 2 more weeks of the OTS project technically, and then after that, it will be the Cousins of the Cosmos Pod. Everything we film tomorrow will be called the Cousins of the Cosmos Pod. We got a new frame, we got a new logo, we got a new intro. which I think was pretty fire. I sent it to you last night.
It was very fun. You sent it to me, and at first it didn't have the sound on there, and I was like, I wonder what song you picked. Like when I saw the intro without the sound, I'm like, okay, it's gonna be some sort of like vintage like '80s sci-fi thing going on, and then it was just an out of touch remix, and I was like, you know what, I can fuck with that. That works.
Hell yeah! So, yes, I am very excited that we're changing this name. I think it's for the good. It's gonna help us a lot, and it's gonna help a lot of people just, I feel like, connect with us more. So yeah, the Cousins of the Cosmos pod is the newest name for our podcast, and hopefully the last name. It should be the last name for our podcast. I know Jesse is also working on like a press release kind of photo, so if anybody's watching this and you maybe want more information or just want to kind of see what's going on, hopefully by tonight we should have like the official announcement on our TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, all that. So yeah, Cousins of the Cosmos pod is the name for the new podcast. We are officially on the rebrand, so I'm super excited. Peacemaker season 2. Theo, have you finally gotten around to watching Peacemaker season 2?
Not only have I finally caught up, I just before you like texted me finished the newest episode from last night. I am all caught up on Peacemaker.
That's cool because I'm not.
Next week we're gonna talk about it.
No, I think that's hilarious because I was like, I knew it was coming out yesterday, and then like I got busy and forgot, and it was like 11 o'clock at night, and I was already like in bed, just like brain rot scrolling on TikTok, and I was like, I don't want to turn this episode on right now. So I was like, I'll watch it tomorrow, but then you have to go to do whatever you're doing, so we had a time constraint. So I was like, there's no way I'm getting this episode in before we have to record. So that episode we'll have to talk about next week. But the first, what was that? That was episode 4?
4 came
Was it
out
3?
last night,
Okay.
so we have like the first 3 to talk about.
All right, so let's talk about the first 3. I'll let you lead the charge.
Man, where do I even begin? I really am liking the whole concept that they've got going on with this alternate like reality sort of thing, especially after like having to branch out from like the DCU to the now DCU. Which they kind of, you did say they did it seamlessly, and I do feel like they did it seamlessly. It really does feel like that it hasn't really changed much at all. But I'm really liking a lot of this alternate dimension stuff that Chris, a.k.a. Peacemaker, is having to go through here, especially with like his brother still being alive, his father actually like liking him and stuff like that, being like a legitimate hero in the eyes of the people and stuff like that, saving people on like a daily basis. I'm like, this is like he's being able to finally live the hero story that he wants to live. It's just not his reality and stuff like that. He had to literally kill his version of himself, not intentionally, but still had to in order to get to that place. But a lot of cool stuff has been happening with these first few episodes.
Yeah, I'm excited we do get to talk about it. I've seen like the big theory I've seen so far about this new universe is that it may be a universe where Hitler won.
Yeah.
I've
been seeing a lot
which
of
is
that.
so wild.
I've been seeing,
but if you notice,
just like, there's no black people in the background.
right. All the in that new universe, all the background extras. There's not black people. There's just no
all white people.
Of color. Oh, it's just all white people. So yeah. So that is seeming to be, especially with the like the mindset that we know his father has from our universe.
Yep.
And him being celebrated over here, it seems like maybe his motives and his ideals are celebrated in that universe and whatnot. As well as I would imagine Keith probably shares the same ideals and same mindset. So yeah, that is not a great universe. So before we got into Peacemaker, before we got this season started, I was fully under the impression that this was going to be a story, because we knew it was going to be like a multiversal story. I was under the impression that the new universe he was coming to was the DCU. I was expecting them to do he's in the DCEU, which is his universe, and he was going to kill the DCU's version of Peacemaker and take his spot in the DCU. That's what I fully expected. That's not the case at all. They're just kind of retconning the DCEU Peacemaker universe into the DCU, and this other universe is something completely new. So that caught me by surprise when we actually got into it, because I was like, oh, okay, this isn't like a transition story. This isn't like hey, he's coming to the DCU. He's technically already here. It connects to Superman. We have Rick Flag Sr. showing up and clearly wanting Peacemaker's head on a pike. But but there are also some references to what happened a few months ago in Metropolis and things like that they sprinkle throughout the episodes. So it kind of like looms over the show pretty heavily of like that this is in the DCU and this is like maybe 4 months after what happened in Superman happened. Obviously, again, too, in episode 1, we have Guy Gardner and Hawkgirl showing up and whatnot. So it does connect pretty perfectly into the DCU, especially if you have seen Superman. I feel like if you haven't seen Superman, it's not like a big connect. You're not going to understand it. But for two people that have seen Superman, Theo seeing it like 50 times, it does, like, you do feel that the show is like almost like a end cap to the Superman movie in a way. Like it's like a full show of a post credit scene kind of deal of like for the movie. Like it definitely kind of connects to it. And we know that Man of Tomorrow's coming, and I believe James Gunn already kind of announced that like yes, it's a Superman Lex Luthor show, but Peacemaker's going to be in it. I'd imagine maybe Vigilante and some characters from Peacemaker show up. Hawkgirl's going to be in it. Guy Gardner's like it's going to be their first kind of Avengers movie of like here's like our 6 heroes that we've already set up. So I'd imagine since that's the case, that the stuff that's happening in season 2 of Peacemaker is also going to lead Chris down that path of coming into the Man of Tomorrow movie. So yeah, John Economos is so great, and I love the dynamic between him and Tim Meadows' character. Tim Meadows' character is hilarious.
Tim Meadows is always going to do good stuff every time. He never disappoints. The bird blindness thing is so effing hysterical.
Yes. And I told you it comes to bite him in the ass, and it does come to bite him in the ass.
It does bite him in the ass. That's very true. But it's also very funny. I don't know how the fuck you write this shit, honestly. I'm like, how do you fucking think this?
Right. I saw, so they have like the weekly podcast that they do with James Gunn. And in last week's episode, they brought back Rick Flag Jr. In the new universe and whatnot, which I was super cool about. One thing I didn't like was how they kind of made him a fucking idiot. I was not a big fan of that. It was funny, like seeing him like with the 2 phones and stuff was funny, but seeing like he was a character that I've always liked from the first Suicide Squad, and I liked him even more in the Suicide Squad. So seeing him being like this bumbling, goofy idiot, I was not a big fan of. So that's like my one thing so far that I wasn't too happy about, but it's not like a deal breaker for me. I just was kind of like, I'd rather if he kind of was still similar to what he was, in the DC EU kind of vibe.
I think the problem. I think the problem with that kind of analogy though is just like this is like the alternate reality, and where Chris, aka Peacemaker, is like one of the biggest heroes in the world, and so it could just be like a lacking in confidence thing when he's trying to have to compete with one of the biggest heroes in the world for like his girlfriend and stuff like that. So I think it's more so like just a confidence thing, in that he's just kind of like a little more wimpy in this universe compared to like our like usual universe where he's already like neck and neck pretty much with Peacemaker and whatnot.
Right. So yeah, in the podcast they did say that I believe in the Suicide Squad, there's actually a deleted scene that James Gunn still thinks is like canon. He still considers it canon, even though it wasn't like in the movie, where it's like it was some flashback scene to a shot where they're like in an office. This is before the events of the movie take place, and Rick Flag is like at a desk, like doing paperwork or whatever, and Amanda Waller comes in, and she's wearing like this like weird, ridiculous like tie-dye kind of like blouse shirt kind of thing,
right?
And Rick Flag goes, "Hey Waller, what's up with like the shirt? Like you basically Rick Flag calling Waller out, trying to be like funny, being like, that shirt looks stupid. You look like a clown. Like you look like you know what I'm saying?" And James Gunn in the scene, you just kind of see Amanda Waller just like dead stare at him, and John Economos is just like laughing his ass off in the background. And James Gunn says like this is still canon to him. He's like, this was the moment Amanda Waller said, "I'm gonna kill that motherfucker." And I'm like, that is fucking hilarious. They do this whole mission just because Rick Flag made fun of her blouse like 2 weeks before.
That would have made so many people pissed, but it would have been so funny.
Yeah, and hey, it's canon. He considers it canon, so
It is canon.
that's
You
what happened.
You can get pissed about it, guys. You're allowed.
That's true.
It's canon.
That's true. Yeah, Vigilante is also obviously great. He's probably my
Yes.
I love Peacemaker, but Vigilante is probably my favorite character in the show, just because he's so
so
ridiculous
fucking
in what he says and what he does. But yeah, anything else you want to add before we move on?
I'm very excited to see where it goes. I feel like I have a potential theory in where, because Chris and what's her name, Adebayo, that's her character's name, I think. They're like very like close friends, and I feel like it's gonna get to a point where he's going to bring her over to this alternate universe, and that's when he's going to realize, oh shit, everybody's a Nazi in this universe.
Right.
They're gonna try and kill her like instantly and whatnot.
I had a shower thought the other day after I watched like the last week's episode or whatever, where I was like, how funny would it be if Chris is like, Adebayo, you gotta come check out this universe. This universe is so great. And she goes there and they're like in the office, and his dad just like comes around the corner and just like, what the fuck?
That's exactly what I'm expecting to happen. That's exactly what I'm talking about.
Just like drops his coffee and has like a heart attack. From seeing a black person,
and
bro.
then like his brother comes in and he's just like instantly pulls out a gun and pulls.
Yeah. Right. Oh man. Another thing I do want to add though, seeing as how we're getting excited to see where this does go, James Gunn did confirm that once we get he said I think episodes 6 and 8 are his favorite things he's ever done as a director, so that is very interesting. But he also did say that there will be some major players that do kind of show up towards the end of this. And I don't know if it's necessarily a spoiler, but like, there's been very public photos that David Cornsweet posted of him and John Cena and him and the actor who plays Adebayo clearly on set. There's literally, I think, a photo of him in a Superman suit, while John Cena is wearing like the button-up shirt he wore in last week's episode. So I'm like, okay, I'm pretty much confirming myself that Superman is showing up in this show in probably the finale. But I've also seen rumor and speculation that Blue Beetle is going to show up in this show in some form. You said you didn't see that movie, right? I didn't see Blue Beetle, no. That's definitely a movie that we should probably watch at some point, because it actually is a pretty decent movie in my opinion. It wasn't like groundbreaking, but it was a pretty, especially for the DCEU, it was actually a pretty decent movie. Angelo Maridueña is like, he is Jaime Reyes, like he is Blue Beetle, like he's incredible. So I do hope that he shows up, because I really love him as that character. So that will also be pretty interesting if he shows up, kind of makes a cameo towards the end. But yeah, we got to move on a little bit though to stay on the DC theme though. I do want to talk about the fact that my TikTok has been flooded with Booster Gold. We know that there is a Booster Gold TV show that's in the works. I believe James Gunn announced that in like the original slate like 3 years ago. And there has been some issues. I think they just like found a new writer or something like that a few months ago because the previous writer left. But I have been seeing nothing but crazy amounts of people posting about fan casting of who should play Booster Gold, and I've seen some wild takes. I've seen, Glenn Powell, Chris Pratt. I've even seen, for some reason, a heavy one that I've seen, which is baffling to me, is Logan Paul, which I think is the fucking stupidest decision ever.
Absolutely not.
But I've seen but I've seen a good amount of TikToks that have included Logan Paul in their like idea of a fan casting, and I think that is the stupidest fucking decision. What isn't the stupidest fucking decision is the number one fan cast that everybody has been sharing, and that is Mr. Shane Top from Smosh as Booster Gold.
It's gotta happen.
It needs to happen.
Yes.
And honestly, I'm not even saying it needs to happen for the meme. It's not even that. I think it genuinely needs to happen because he legitimately comes off as Booster Gold. Like, he is just kind of like Booster Gold in real life. Of just like, he's very. We both watched Smosh for years since we were little kids and stuff like that. So we've seen the evolution, and we've seen Shane Top and Courtney and Olivia and Keith and whatnot since like the beginning of them being at Smosh. So we've seen Shane from the start, and he has always had this personality of like, he looks great. He looks like almost like a model. He's built. He's jacked up, but he's always had this hilarious kind of thing with his personality where he like makes fun of himself, and he's always like making self-deprecating jokes and things like that. And I feel like that is so perfect for what Booster Gold would be, where he's supposed to be this huge superhero that's like the best, and he's just not. And I feel like Shane Top would be incredible. I think people also don't realize that because Shane's been a Smosh cast member for years, that people don't realize that Shane is an actual actor. He's not just some random person. He's like a trained actor. He was on the Goldbergs when we both used to watch the Goldbergs and stuff. So he's an actual actor. He was on iCarly and things like that. Even So Random when we were kids, he was on that. So it's like he's an actual actor. So I think this guy needs like an opportunity to be an actor because he hasn't had like big roles. You know what I'm saying? He hasn't had like an actual role where he's like actually in something. Goldberg's is probably the best, like the biggest role he's done, and even that he only shows up out of like 4 episodes. He shows up in like 1. So it's like he needs an actual role. I do think it is. It hinders him a little bit that he is a Smosh cast member. I think if they were looking at him, they may be like, oh, he's like this comedian guy on some internet show. I don't know if we want that. As well as, I feel like these people, these executives and stuff, they never go with like the fan cast for the most part. So that concerns me. But acting wise and like character wise, I think he actually is perfect for that role. And I really do. He's my number 1 pick, and I really do want him to be Booster Gold.
Absolutely. I'm kind of in the same boat. He's a good actor. He even like looking the part. He looks like Booster Gold. Like he's got the outfit on.
Right.
You don't even really need to like makeup or hair or anything like that. He's ready to go
Right
now, pretty much.
Right.
But I'm
100%.
honestly just kind of glad that Booster Gold is really getting a lot of this attention because I feel like he is a very, very cool character, and I'm glad that he's kind of getting like his time in the spotlight, especially when he is getting like his own show soon. I feel like that's really gonna elevate his character and stuff like that because he is like such a funny and really just like down to earth character that I think could really do numbers for DC if they do him right.
For sure. And with Booster Gold, also brings along the possibility of Ted Cord coming along. Obviously, we have Blue Beetle that obviously is coming with Jaime, but I feel like, and in that Blue Beetle movie, which I don't think is technically canon, in that movie in the post credit scene they did tease Ted Cord being like kind of lost somewhere. So if James Gunn wants to take that, he could easily take that and use that. So that is the thing with if we get both Booster Gold and we get, Zolo coming in as Jaime's Blue Beetle, I feel like Ted Cord is definitely going to be around that situation as well.
I need that Booster Gold Ted Cord duo, bro. It's so good.
Right. So yeah, that is something I really want to happen. He looks the part. He is the part. And it has been all over my For You page, bro. It has been insane the past like 2 weeks. Just all, and the song to the Gold. Yeah, that needs to be again. They don't take the ideas that the fans come up with, but that needs to be the intro song or the end credit song, but probably more so the intro song for the show because it is too perfect.
Right.
So yeah. I also want to talk about the fact that John Cena. Here's news. John Cena's last show in Boston is going to be November 10th, and his last show in New York is going to be November 17th. His actual last match will be December 13th. I want to talk about AJ Styles and John Cena here because he's only got a few matches left. Well, he only has like 7 appearances left, which to me, I'm like, out of those 7 appearances, I feel like he's probably got like 3 matches left because he's got his last match. Well, we don't know because he could wrestle all the rest of the appearances, but I feel like he won't. So he's got the last match, Survivor Series. He's going to be at Survivor Series, so I'm assuming he's going to have a match at Survivor Series. And then there's one more. I'm forgetting what it was, but there's. We have WrestlePalooza. Obviously, we know he's wrestling Brock. But I feel like he has one more big date that is supposed to be set. We need AJ Styles versus John Cena. Yeah. This has pissed me off. That is one of his greatest rivals. As well as I would even say we need we need John Cena versus Seth Rollins. That's another one that has not happened. Which kind of pisses me off. I had like I feel like the perfect booking for the AJ Cena stuff. I would have had AJ win the IC title at SummerSlam or on the Raw after, because I think him and Dom had a rematch or whatever. I would have had AJ win the IC title there. Then I would have had AJ versus Cena happen. I would have had Cena win the IC title. Like, gotta hear me out, because listen, we don't want to hot potato a championship because it devalues a championship if you're just throwing it on everybody. But this is a special case where John Cena has never held the IC title and he's got like 2 months left in his WWE career. So this is an acceptable hot potato of a championship that I was willing to allow, of AJ winning it from Dom and then him and Cena wrestling, Cena winning it from AJ, and then I would have just had Cena have the championship for the next 2 months and basically be like whoever my opponents are, my last two opponents, either beat me for this championship or not, and I would have had Cena kind of ride off into the sunset as IC champion. But I would have then obviously had Cena, in his farewell speech or whatever, I would have had him relinquish it. So then we can do a tournament, and if you want to put it back on Dom, you put it back on Dom. But now you have free range to put it on whoever you want. Dragon Lee, Dominic, AJ again, whoever you want to put it on, you can put it on. But then that way we get AJ versus Cena. We get Cena with the title run. So that's what I would have done, but clearly Triple H did not want to do that. But no matter what, we need AJ Styles versus John Cena. If we don't get this match before this all ends, I'm going to be pretty upset because that is one of each other's greatest rivals for sure, especially so late into, both of their careers really, but John Cena's career as a WWE superstar, having a newfound great rival in, his last year as, a real active superstar was really cool, and they brought out the best in each other, especially because AJ, too, there's, the duality of AJ being, the John Cena of TNA. Yeah, we need that match. Throw it on I don't care. It doesn't have to be at Survivor Series. It doesn't even... I would love if that's Cena's last match. I feel like that'd be really cool. But if not, put it on a random Raw, man, or SmackDown. We don't need some crazy build for this match. Just give us this match. They just did John Cena versus Sami Zayn on SmackDown for Cena's last SmackDown. So for Cena's last Raw, why can't we do AJ versus Cena, So, right. Yeah.
Yeah, no, definitely for sure. Especially with that whole, Sami Zayn thing. It's you clearly are able to do impromptu matches like that. Why are we not doing that for AJ? It needs to happen at some point.
Right.
People have been clamoring about this match for happening for months now. I keep seeing things where AJ is just getting more and more popularity as the year goes on. Pretty much. Why is this not a thing yet? It needs to happen.
Right. Yeah, it needs to happen, and especially too. AJ just cut a promo during a commercial break saying that he's on his own. If somebody doesn't want him here, I do feel like maybe you find a way to tie that into the Cena stuff. I'm not sure, but we need that match no matter what before Cena retires, for sure.
Right.
Sticking with AJ, though, just a different AJ. AJ Lee, who obviously came back on SmackDown. She was on Raw. It's officially at WrestlePalooza. It's going to be Seth and Becky versus Punk and AJ. I'm super excited. I was freaking out. Even though I knew she was coming back, I was still freaking out. But she has apparently signed a full-time WWE contract. This is something I did not expect to happen. I thought, yeah, she's going to come in. She's going to do this one match. And then I figured she would, either A, be done, and she would, go do whatever she's doing. Or not necessarily, she would be done, but maybe come back from time to time. So her signing a full-time WWE contract is shocking to me. I'm not mad about it at all, by any means, of course. But it's just not what I expected. Because I figured she would come in, do this match, and then, that would be it. But yeah, I'm super excited. It's a multi-year deal as well. So she apparently is going to be around for, probably, most multi-year deals are at least 5 years. Right. So she's got at least 5 years. Now, she is a different case where she's not Roxanne Perez will say, for example, where Roxanne goes through NXT and signs a 5-year deal, and she's expected to be at Raw, at SmackDown every week for the next 5 years. AJ Lee is obviously a different case, so she may have signed a 5-year deal, but within that deal, maybe some leniency to where she's not going to be at every show for 5 years. She can kind of, over the course of the next 5 years, kind of come and go as she pleases. Come in, do a program with somebody for a month or two, and then leave for a few months, and then come back. You know what I'm saying? Kind of even though it is a full-time deal, she may have a part-time kind of thing in her deal to where she has free range to kind of say, I don't want to do that. I'm going to go do this and I'll be back. I'd imagine she has that freedom in there. So that's something to think about. But in general, her being signing a 5-year, WWE contract was not what I expected. Especially, she retired 10 years ago. If you would have told me 2 months ago that AJ Lee would be back and she'd be a full-time active WWE superstar, I'd be like, yeah, fuck off, buddy. There's no way. She might come back, but she ain't going to be a full-time WWE superstar. So I'm very excited about that. I think that's really cool. I'm excited to see the feuds that we're going to get. I honestly, off the rip, I don't even necessarily care about this match. I do because it's her, but this match is just to get her back in. I don't care that much. But I do want to see, stemming out of this match, I do want to see the Becky Lynch, AJ Lee solo feud for sure. AJ Lee is already, she was strutting around with the IC title, and that was a big crux of the promo on Raw was Becky trying to get it back from her. So I would love to see AJ win the women's IC title. I think that would be great. Obviously, Roxanne Perez. That's a feud that has to happen. That's literally her wrestling daughter. So that has to happen. But her versus Lyra would be great. Her versus Becky would obviously be great. Her versus Bianca. Like there is a good amount of people that I would love to see AJ Lee just wrestle, but also maybe have like a actual like feud with. So yeah, I'm really excited that she's like a full-time WWE superstar again.
I know that she is out because she technically just like announced her pregnancy and stuff like that. But like well after the fact, if this is going to be like a 5-year deal, I would love to see AJ Lee versus Naomi. I feel like those two as like classic superstars that have been around for like 15 years at this point or whatever. I think having them run that back as like a bit of a nostalgia match, I think that'd be super cool. Because especially there's top talent.
And there's such a connection there because they both were in FCW at the same time. Like I think AJ Lee started like a week after Naomi started at FCW or something like that. So yeah, those two have been like connected in the wrestling world probably more than anyone else is connected to them in the wrestling world, really, because it's like they both, I mean, AJ was obviously wrestling before she got to FCW, but like their WWE journey, at least, legitimately started together at the same time being at FCW in a little warehouse on Dale Mabry every week for a couple years. You know what I'm saying? So it's like really cool. So they definitely do need to have a feud because they're almost like not on TV, but like actual like personally, they probably are like wrestling soulmates because they've just been like connected to each other for so long. And they obviously, again, it was a different time in WWE. It was for the women, it wasn't great. So I'm sure there's a lot of times where they kind of had to lean on each other, in FCW or on the main roster and stuff like that because they obviously were on the same show on Raw. So it is literally like, even though AJ's been gone for like 10 years, there was like probably 7 years where they were connected and were with each other like multiple days out of the week, every week for like 7 years. So for sure, that definitely needs to happen too. Yeah. We have 2 other pieces of news. I'll stick on the WWE thing for real quick. There is a rumor that we are getting a WrestleMania in Saudi Arabia.
It's not even a rumor at this point. I'm pretty sure it's mostly confirmed at this point.
Yeah. They did say, so we're recording this on Friday at like 10:30 in the morning. At 3 p.m. today, there is a live stream special breaking news announcement. They haven't said anything. It literally just says like WWE announcement, and it's just a WWE logo. But I believe it's supposed to be a announcement coming from Las Vegas, and Triple H is supposed to be there. I think Bianca Belair and multiple superstars. So yeah, that's what everybody's speculating, is that this announcement is going to be the official Saudi Arabia WrestleMania announcement. Not great, obviously. Saudi Arabia, the whole deal is not great. I will say, not that it's great, and not that I'm like condoning this, but this is going to be very interesting because there is a lot of money that is being thrown at this Saudi Arabia WrestleMania. So even though it is Saudi Arabia, this low-key could be the best WrestleMania ever, just from like the size and like the largeness of what they may want to do. However, I have seen that they want to bring back a lot of wrestlers that are retired. No.
No, don't do it.
Please no. Not to say they can't appear. Listen, Shawn Michaels showed up at WrestleMania. So it's like, of course, Shawn Michaels and Taker and Triple H and Stone Cold and Rock and da-da-da can all show up at WrestleMania. But they don't need to have matches. Especially like Shawn Michaels, we saw what happened. Shawn Michaels, 2018 was not great. Undertaker, we've known, can no longer wrestle. The Rock literally has become the Pebble. He's literally like even more than half of the size that he normally is. So it's like, I was looking at like the idea of it, and I was like, the only person that could actually do this would be Stone Cold, because we saw him do the Kevin Owens match. So I'm like, and that was a great match. So I'm like, Stone Cold's literally the only like guy that could pull this off. So yeah, don't really want that. I'd love for them to show up and make an appearance. That'd be great, but don't need them all wrestling. But in general, yeah, this is not great. It's gonna be great from the size of it and like the event kind of like idea of it. That's gonna be fun, but the actual aspect of it being in Saudi Arabia and watching a WrestleMania at like 3 p.m. on a Saturday and Sunday doesn't sound too enticing to me. So yeah,
I was talking about this with one of my coworkers because obviously this is like very big news and we're both wrestling fans, so obviously we gotta talk about it. we pretty much made
Right.
the joke the entire day of Saudi Mania, it's happening, you ready? And we were just like, no. And so what I really kind of want to talk about in this sense is just like, I feel like we're, essentially speaking, we're starting to lose the plot a little bit to WrestleMania, because I feel like
Right.
picking the WrestleMania location is such an important thing, but now it just kind of seems like, especially with it theoretically also being going back to Las Vegas next year, it just really seems like they don't really care so much as to where WrestleMania is. It only really matters as to who throws them the most amount of money, which I
Right.
don't really care for, because there's so much like history and importance behind where WrestleMania is going to be every single year. And if it's just
Right.
the same few places every single year because they just keep getting money thrown at them for it, it seems like just tasteless.
Yeah, no, for sure, and that seems to be a TKO struggle. I don't want to. It's a weird thing to say here, but business wise, it seems like WWE was in a better place under Vince McMahon because he didn't. He was a smart businessman. Wasn't again? I'm not condoning Vince McMahon and saying but business wise, he's a very smart businessman. He's goddamn like billionaire, so obviously he knows what he's doing. But he also had like an aspect of understanding for the fans. Again, creatively, towards the end at least, creatively he was all over the place, right? But business wise, he knew how to make money, but I think he also knew not to, how to make it to where people can all enjoy WWE. I think Vince wanted everybody to be able to enjoy WWE, whether you're a man, woman, child, grandparent, whatever. He wanted everybody to enjoy WWE, so that's why you can go to SmackDown for $20 and have a decent seat, because he was like, we'll make more money on the merch or whatever, sponsorships and things like that. The ticket price, I think, to Vince wasn't the biggest seller, whereas TKO, not even that they want the ticket price to be the biggest seller. I just think they want the most amount of money out of anything. So they're going to make the merch, the brand deals, the sponsorships, the celebrity deals, and they're going to get the tickets. Like, they have no remorse for a family of 4 with 2 little kids that love WWE and want to go see Monday Night Raw because it's in Chicago. You know what I'm saying?
Right,
they have no
exactly.
care for a family of 4 being able to go to do that for maybe $300. They want $1,000 out of that family. So that's the issue with that, is that TKO is kind of just ruthless when it comes to the money aspect of this shit.
Yeah, because like even like Raw tickets and SmackDown tickets, and even almost to an extent NXT tickets, at this point are about the same price as WrestleMania tickets were like 10 years ago.
Right, 100%. But all right, our last piece of news is an interesting one. It just says Rockstar websites. I'm not sure if you saw this.
I think I saw a little bit about that. It's like different like things like Uber and stuff like that coming into having their own like Rockstar versions.
I screenshotted the tweet that I saw.
Okay.
Rockstar Games has reportedly registered multiple website domains that will be used as in-game sites for GTA 6, including the What Up app, which is a WhatsApp parody, the Ride Me app, which is an Uber parody, Buck Me, which is an OnlyFans parody, LeonidedGov.org, which is obviously like the state website, Brian and Bradley, which is probably a clothing website, Hookers Galore, which is just an adult website, which is just great, WipeOutCornskin.com, which apparently is a medical website, and this last one, honestly, I'm tempted to just change this to your contact info for some reason. It's a parenting awareness website called myboyhasacreepycorndog.com.
Don't change that. Don't change my contact information. That's fucking terrible. Why would you
It is
say
crazy. It's just so funny, bro. Like, what?
fucking wild.
But
My favorite
yeah.
thing about this is that like every website has some wacky name except for the porn website, which just has
Right.
like the name
Just
you would
Hookers
expect
galore.
it to have.
Right. And I also love how there's all these crazy websites, and then it's just like leonardastate.org.
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, that's just a small thing that I thought was interesting. Obviously, every GTA game has those kind of fun parodies, and I'm assuming too there's going to be returning websites and adverts, Sprunk and E. Cola and stuff like that. I'm sure are going to show back up. That's what makes GTA so fun, is like the in-world branding and the new brands, but also seeing the returning brands of Sprunk. Like Sprunk, I think was in GTA 4. Clock and Bell or whatever was in GTA 4 and GTA 5. So I'm sure like You'll be able to drive by a clucking bell in GTA 6. That's what, to me, the immersion of GTA. That's the immersion, is like investing in these, like, the thought of these fake brands and whatnot. And like, I love that Rockstar sells like merch for these fake brands and stuff like that. And that to me is, yeah, like the immersion of it is the funness of just like loving these fake brands. So those websites I just thought were pretty fun.
No, it's always funny stuff. I think they always usually pretty much hit when it comes to creating their own spin off of real life brands or anything like that. I can't wait to see like different like restaurants, different like
Right.
obviously like clothing stores and stuff like that, different like technology like stuff like that, like Apple
Right.
and whatnot. I think there's gonna be a lot of cool stuff that we're gonna see in this new game.
For sure. Yeah, a lot of fun stuff, especially again like with it being current. We're gonna see a lot of like, I'm sure there's gonna be a mission where you see someone in the background using a VR headset or
Yeah.
different
Like
things
that.
of
Yeah.
current day things that we deal with every day. So, there I feel like there's probably some, especially with the social media aspect that apparently is a big aspect of the two of the side characters. There's got to be like a TikTok-esque app where people, I think they even show that in the trailer, where people are just like the one dude jumping off a trailer through a table doing an elbow drop, and it's like being put on like Snapmatic and things like that. That the social media aspect is really gonna be fun for sure. But our actual discussion, which I don't want to go too long because we are like an hour into our 30-minute episode here, but we had a lot of news, and I kind of forgot we had to talk about Peacemaker too. So, yeah, I have the discussion is going to be which actors that are obviously like former DC actors, which actors should kind of reprise their role, if any, in the new DCU, because obviously John Cena as Peacemaker is reprising his role. It seems like Zolo Maridueña is going to be Blue Beetle. So there are characters that James Gunn is taking from the DCU, at least specifically, and it's just kind of putting in the DCU. So what do we think are maybe some more actors that are from the DCU, or maybe another project that we think James Gunn should just just put him or her in as this character?
I feel like 9 times out of 10, if you were to name me like a character or actor who should come back, I'm just like, no, just don't do it. I feel like Peacemaker works because I feel like he's already pretty much doing that, and it's already pretty much working, and it wasn't that big and major of a character anyways in the DCEU, and so being able to transition it seamlessly into this one wasn't too big of an issue. I mean, again, we didn't really see Blue Beetle, but I feel like that was originally a DCEU movie, which he's now also kind of transitioned into a DCU movie because he pretty much kind of already had some form of reins out of that already. But outside of those two, I really can't say for sure that I really would want anybody back. I feel like just kind of casting, especially like Justice League members and stuff like that, I feel like casting them with whole new actors and pretty much whole new stories and identities, I feel like would be the much safer option to go with.
Right. I have two. One is kind of smaller, but I would love to see. I feel like it's going to happen. I'd love to see Idris Elba come back as Bloodsport. I think Idris Elba is such a great actor, and that was a fun character in that movie. Which you could say James Gunn could find a bigger role for him, but I feel like similar to like a Peacemaker thing, where it's like, no, I feel like you bring Idris Elba back, and he'll make the character a big deal, especially if the way you use him, if you write him in a certain way. Just because he's not a known super big DC character doesn't mean he can't be a super big DC character. So I feel like Idris Elba coming back as Bloodsport would be really good. But my main one, which I have seen people talk about, and it's very kind of 50-50, but I want it to happen. I want Grant Gustin to be the Flash. I watched like 3 seasons of The Flash, so I haven't seen the full show, but he is the Flash, bro. Like, he literally is Barry Allen. And he played that character for like 10 years. So, to an extent, he was. I was watching him on a podcast, and he, by season 10, he was saying like, yeah, I was ready to wrap it up. But I don't think he was tired of playing the character. I think he was just kind of tired of the show because like after a while, it just got like very wacky and kind of ridiculous with stuff. I think he was just kind of tired of like the show. I think he genuinely loves the character of Barry Allen in The Flash. And like I said, he perfectly embodies the Flash. He's still young. I think he's in his 30s. It's not like, he played this character for 10 years and now he's like 50. He played the character for like 10 years in his 20s. I think he's in his 30s now, so he still has, a long way before he's like, too old to be the character. So that's my one. I really think there's not going to be a better Barry Allen than Grant Gustin. I think he perfectly embodies the character. So I'd love for, and I'm not saying like bring the character in and use all the stuff. No, he's a new Flash. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
This is a resetted Flash. I just want him to be the actor because I do not see anybody that can be Barry Allen better than Grant Gustin.
I wouldn't be mad about that, to be honest. I mean, I haven't like seen the show myself. I mean, I may have seen like a few episodes here and there, but like I've seen
Right,
like,
right.
a bunch of clips still, and like he is very, very good with the character. I could definitely, he's very well trusted to work very
Right.
well with that character. Bloodsport,
sure.
I can see it. It wouldn't really make too much waves if Idris Elba came back to play him. Again, he's just
Right.
not that major player of a character. In the same aspect of the Flash, well, kind of in the opposite aspect, I want a new Green Arrow and a new actor to play him, because I feel
Yeah.
like Green Arrow is such a cool character, and is very much so like, he's cool in two different ways. He's cool because he's a badass, but he's cool because he's also kind of like funny and like sarcastic and stuff like that. And I feel like that's kind of where the Arrow show really kind of lost me, because they kind of made him more like brooding and stuff like that. I
Right.
feel like this
They try to make him Batman.
they tried to make him Batman with a bow and arrow, and I'm just like, no, this is not Green Arrow whatsoever. I feel like James Gunn,
Right.
seeing what he's done with Superman, seeing what he's doing with Peacemaker and stuff like that, I feel like he can make an incredible adaptation of Green Arrow, and I really want to see that happen at some point.
Yeah. Especially, no hate to Stephen Amell and whatnot. I didn't really watch Arrow that much. I watched like a couple of episodes. I think I maybe like did the first season, but it just, there were multiple times that I tried to watch the show and it just like it never connected
Right,
for me.
exactly,
Especially like
yeah.
the way that Flash did. Again, I didn't even finish Flash, but I watched like 3 or 4 seasons of Flash because I was genuinely invested in it. But also Stephen Amell the past few years has been like kind of out there when it comes to just certain things he's been saying and doing. So I feel like they definitely would want to stay away from him. I'm sure he would love to come back as the character, but I think they'd want to go in a different direction. Whereas Grant Gustin is just a very friendly guy. He doesn't do stupid shit, at least not that we see.
Right.
So he's very positive. I think he said like he's even talked with James Gunn on different occasions. So it's like seems to be a very positive relationship there. So yeah, I would love to see him come back as Flash. That's my one. But other than that, I'm trying to think if there's like I say with you, same thing. Like there's not too many. I feel like it is a new universe, and I feel like we do need to make new characters and new actors with these characters. But Grant Gustin will be my one. Other than that, I do think like it's time to like Shazam. I love Shazam. I want to see Shazam, but Zachary Levi does not need to be Shazam. I feel like
no.
let's get a new actor as Shazam, things like that. So
Right.
yeah. Anything else you want to add though before we wrap up our episode?
I don't know. Give us Booster Gold. Give us Green Arrow. There's so many cool
Yes.
characters that we can get here.
Shane Top, Booster Gold, we
Shane
need it.
Top.
All right. Well, we appreciate y'all watching. Again, we are changing the name of the podcast. So within 2 weeks, you will see the change of that. This will stay the same. This is still OTS News, but the actual podcast will change. So soon you will see the Cousins of the Cosmos podcast. Yeah, other than that, we appreciate y'all watching. Shout out to WNRN. Shout out Jesse, because Jesse's been he's been busy at
Thank you,
work.
Jesse.
He's been busy at work. I feel so bad, and he keeps telling me like, dude, it's no issue at all. But then he'll be like, yeah, man, I've been really swamped at work this week. But then I'm also like, man, then why are you sending me all these graphics and stuff if you're busy? Like, I feel so bad that I'm like, because then also it's a case of like, he'll send me it, but he'll forget to put it in like the Google Drive, which is gonna be the highest quality. So then I feel bad because he'll be like, hey man, can you put that in the Google Drive? And he'll be like, yeah, bro, I got you. I'll let you know when it's done. And then like a whole other day will go by. I'll be like, damn, I gotta ask him if he put it in there. But I feel bad asking. So I'm like, hey, were you able to put that in the Google Drive? He's like, oh no, I'm like, oh, I feel so bad. I want to leave this guy alone. But shout out to Jesse for making all of our graphics and stuff like that for sure. He's the king for sure. But yeah, we will see y'all next week for some more news and discussion.